Raanan is fat and he's a Jew. He'll tell you something that you already knew. Your favorite movie sucks. Your favorite movie sucks. American Beauty or Forrest Gump. Your favorite movie sucks.
We are back with another episode of Your Favorite Movie Sucks. We have one of my oldest friends in comedy, Sam Morril.
Yo.
We are in his place, and we are here to talk about Chinatown. Now, you love film noir. That's big with you. That's like obsessed, really.
I love noir.
Yeah.
It's probably my favorite genre movie.
Yeah, and I've always said, like, your stand-up, a lot of the lines could be seen as noir lines. They have that, like, witty kind of smokiness, you know?
Well, I love, like, there's a movie called Murder My Sweet from the 40s with Dick Powell, who was, like, a song and dance man, and that was, the book was Farewell My Lovely because he was a song and dance man. They had to put the word murder in it so dudes would see it. So, but it has some of those, like, classic lines, like, where, you know, he's talking to this woman and she says, I find myself very attracted to men. He goes, and I imagine they meet you halfway. Like, I love lines like they have a pop to them. So yeah, I love, like, noir is almost like the classic ones. It's almost like watching a foreign film where it takes you a second to get into you're like, oh, I got to read this.
Right.
But then with a noir, you're like, oh, I got to just adapt to a different way of speaking.
Right.
I love that.
And it's similar to comedy. I mean, it's more like film noirs are very witty, but I mean, that could have been a Rodney Dangerfield line, right?
Exactly.
Which you also love.
It's punchy.
Like, it's punchy, and it's a funny retort to, you know what it is? Funny retorts to hot women.
Yes. I love it, dude.
That's the film noir and the Rodney Dangerfield
and it's
thing.
like the kind of like the dame who's bad news. Like,
Right,
there's something fun about.
right.
I mean, the classic noirs in Chinatown I love because it kind of bridges. Back then it was considered obviously a neo noir, but it kind of now it's like just a noir. I feel
right. Yeah. I mean, you can't. Well, it's hard to say neo if it's like
70s. It's also an era of movie where most of the movies from the 70s just ends with a character you like getting shot in the face.
Yeah, just a horrible ending.
Just like, you're just like, how's this going to end? Oh, another person with a bullet in the face. Like Dog Day, fucking Network.
Yeah, they just end with like unresolved violence.
Bonnie and Clyde, I guess they're bad, but it's still bullets in the face.
Yeah, bullets in the face.
They're still kind of like the main characters.
Even when it's not violent, it's like negative. It's always like Jack Nicholson leaving in 5 Easy Pieces.
You're right.
It's always like the 70s movie left you with this, like, just a kick in the nuts. You don't do that anymore.
It doesn't feel American anymore. Now it's like the joke is like you love that movie Speak No Evil, and then in the American version it's a happy ending, right? So you Americanize it. But I was thinking, because we were talking about Chinatown, you know, yesterday we were just texting, and I was like, is this the bleakest American classic ever?
It might be. It is the most, because I mean, like, it is the most nihilistic movie.
Yeah, and
it is a Hollywood classic. But like, if you look at it compared to other classics, it's like
it ain't Singing in the Rain.
No, it ain't Singing in the Rain. It ain't Casablanca. It is like
Casablanca's not a happy ending though.
Yeah, but it is. But it's a heroic.
It's
ending.
upbeat.
It's a heroic. Ending.
You don't feel like shit.
You don't feel like shit, and you feel like he like is like just the man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I mean, it's like a very.
Well, Bogey's the original film noir guy, so it like went to Bogey, and then Jack is like does his version of the noir hero, and then like in the '90s you get like Denzel doing. I love him in Devil in a Blue Dress. I think Denzel's such an underrated, like, such a cool PI type character. Mm-hmm. And Nicholson, like, you were texting me yesterday, like how he's vulnerable in this and how he's funny, he's vulnerable. It's like he made this such a three-dimensional. It's amazing character.
Yeah, because it's an interesting, because it is like, out of all the other classic like 70s movies, it's a movie that deals in the tropes of the noir. So it's not exactly, it's like, it's the reality of movies. It's not like actual reality, but it's within this film universe. And yet the characters feel real within this film universe. Like Jack Nicholson is obviously the film noir private eye, but what I love about him is that he is what makes him human is that he feels like kind of like he's not a great guy. He's not a terrible guy.
Yeah.
He's ultimately like a good guy, but with very cynical, things. But he's like weak in a way. And
the whole thing is like Chinatown. It's like we were like, what the fuck happened, dude?
We
don't know what happened.
We don't know what
we
happened.
just know it involved another woman. You're like, dude, you got to stop going to Chinatown. Also, it's like it's rare that a movie is about a state of mind. It's not. Chinatown is like it's the state of mind of like, oh, shit goes horribly wrong.
Shit goes horribly wrong. I always get the person hurt. It is. I do feel bad for Chinese people when that movie came out because they were like, "Oh, finally we're getting representation," and they go and it's just a metaphor for white people.
We're just really sad here.
Not only is it just used as a metaphor, but I always forget that the big clue in the movie revolves around kind of a joke about Chinese broken accents.
Yes.
It's bad for the glass, which he's meaning grass, but the glass signals in your head the glasses. So not only is it not about Chinese people, it's the whole movie centered around a Chinese kind of joke. Like,
it's also like the hardest. It's a hard movie to follow the first time you see it because, like, I've seen it a few times.
It's very hard.
But like, there's so many like, oh, that's not what it's about. Like the beginning, that's not Evelyn Mulray. It's a different woman. Then there's so many weird twists, and then there's a twist with the salt water in the end. Like that's how he drowned.
There's so much. I've actually tried only recently rewatching it to try to figure out everything in it.
It's like, you ever read like a Ross McDonald book? He's like the master. He's so good. He's like there's like Hammett, Dashiell Hammett, who was like an actual Pinkerton, who wrote like, you know, The Thin Man, The Maltese Falcon. Then there's Raymond Chandler, who like took it to the next, like probably the best ever. And then McDonald is like kind of after that, but he's phenomenal. He's one of the best.
I never heard of him.
Oh, dude, he wrote.
Is he like in the Jim Thompson era or before that?
When did Jim Thompson's a little? I don't. They're probably alive at the same time. But Ross McDonald, it's more like a PI, less than like Jim Thompson's fucking gritty as hell.
Right,
you know?
right.
But these books are, you know, Lou Archer is his guy, and it's a great character.
Oh, is that what Archer? No.
But I think he might have co-written Night Moves, the one with Hackman.
Oh, really?
He's done a lot of cool shit. I mean, The Drowning Pool is a really good one. The Chill, like he's got some great books, and there's so many twists where you're like, how the hell? But it's that type of thing.
You have the reading habits of an 80-year-old man. Like, you just read, like...
Yeah, sometimes I feel like I need more from the world than...
Like, I'm surprised you don't read, like, old westerns like Louis L'Amour or something.
I like Elmore Leonard's old westerns.
Elmore Leonard, yeah.
But I don't read a ton of westerns.
But you do read, like, old film noir books.
I'm a city kid. These are like urban westerns almost.
True.
You know, the western is not... Like, I'm never going to ride a horse, but I might, like... follow a woman through a subway, you know? It's not... These are more, you know...
It is relatable, the whole, like,
And it makes me appreciate L.A., because I do the stalking.
P.I. is really just kind of, like, paid to stalk.
They're like comedians, dude, because you're waiting for the phone to ring.
Yeah.
You're waiting for, like, a hot chick to show up. You get a banter.
It's kind of like in Dexter, he's a serial killer, like, you can use this for good. It's like PIs were perverts, and someone's like, you can use this perversion for good. Instead of looking through windows and sniffing underwear, do it as a job. Get hired for it.
Exactly. He's sniffing underwear. Some woman's like, my husband's missing. He's like, all right, I'll see what I can do. No, you know, but they're always like a little overqualified too. Like like Giddy's you're talking about.
Right.
He's a little too smart for this job. And you see, like, he used to work with these fucking goons. These guys are idiots. These detectives that he used to work with.
They're always like slumming it, kind of like in that job.
They're slumming it, but he's kind of not. He's like getting that nice shave. He's in nice suits. He's a little overqualified. You can tell.
Yes, and there is so many great, like, private eye techniques in this movie, from the taking the business card to get into the thing, you know, his business card.
Right.
It would have been funny if the cop was like, let me see the ID. And he'd be like, fuck, I didn't think this far. I was hoping just a card that you give out. But like the broken watch thing.
Yes.
Even though I feel like that would break the whole watch, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's some liberties you're taking.
Like,
also,
a tire over a watch, you're going to know exactly where it stopped.
But it's got that perfect. This also, as dark as this movie is, it's as noir as a movie could be. Like the melancholy score and even the font in the beginning, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And then the way we talked about the dialogue, you know, Nicholson talking to John Huston. That line, I texted you it last night when he serves him the fish with the head. He goes, I hope you don't mind. I serve the fish with the head. And he goes, as long as you don't serve the chicken that way. It's like very noir.
And also, once again, could be Ronnie Dangerfield.
It's funny.
Oh, yeah, as long as you don't show, you know.
It is, right? It's very comedic.
Yeah.
But also Nicholson, you read that book, right? The book about this?
Yeah, I loved it.
The Big Goodbye, Sam Wasson book. So that's, I think, one of the best books on movies ever written.
It's great,
And it talks about how Nicholson reveres John Huston, and he's banging his daughter.
And he's banging his daughter.
While filming this. And there's the part where he's like, are you sleeping with my daughter?
Yeah, and he's all perverted about it. Yeah. You fucking her? Are you making my daughter come? Hell yeah. It's like that weird moment.
Yeah, Huston was definitely an odd dude, but also like I mean, dude, he directed the Maltese Falcon.
Right.
I mean, that's crazy.
It's like, yeah, it's full
that's
circle.
That's the generational.
But to me, what's so interesting about Chinatown is that I guess people call it neo-noir, but what I would call it really is like a deconstruction of the noir, because like the old like Maltese Falcon, they're not aware of the genre. They create the genre. This is aware of the genre, but it flips a lot of tropes. I think the ultimate trope it flips outside of, I mean, there's major trope. Like number one, the femme fatale.
Yeah.
Not instead in she's not the femme fatale.
Yeah.
She appeared at first. You're like, oh, maybe she's the sexy woman who's really the bad woman, which goes into the film noir, like a woman with autonomous sexuality is like a threat, right?
Right.
Like it's a threat. It's scary.
Because it was the 40s.
It was the 40s.
Kind of like how they always made the gay guy the villain.
Yeah, exactly.
They're just like, oh, he's gay. He's the bad guy.
He's the bad guy.
He just
right.
won't actually be gay.
Yeah, she likes to come. She's a bad guy. She her.
Well, that's
her
what Barbara
sexuality
Stanwyck
is-
said. She was terrified when she was in Double Indemnity because she's like, I'm like a bad woman. I'll never get cast again.
Right. It is it's just like once they're like open about their own sexuality.
You like to come? You're evil.
Yeah, and it terrifies the guy.
The guy can come.
Yeah, exactly. And it terrifies the guy. But in this, it takes that trope at first and flips it so she's just a victim of rape and patriarchy.
Oh, do we give rape, incest? I mean, this is like every dark. This type of stuff you could put in like a book back then, but a movie. This was shocking to be in a movie.
Shocking.
And shocking that Robert Towne didn't want this ending.
I know. I mean, like, as great as the screenplay is, this movie is made by the ending. It's made by it.
And you don't get that ending without a guy like Roman Polanski getting his love murdered
He's
by
like,
the Mansons.
Trust me, life is a lot darker than this. Let me.
That's his Chinatown.
That's his Chinatown. Yeah, he had the Holocaust, and he had the and he had his wife getting murdered.
Stay away from that guy.
Yeah, and then he
bad luck.
And then he becomes John Huston. He becomes.
I mean, Jesus Christ, so many turns.
Yeah,
but you can't take away, like, there are people who write this movie off because of Polanski, and it's like, dude, so many people
are involved in
making this great. That bugs the shit out of me.
Well, it's also like it's almost feeding into this idea of him being the guy who did everything in the movie. Like, if you say, like, I can't watch because of him, you're basically saying the movie is just his.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's a collaborative effort, right?
Yeah.
So it's like the idea that you cancel something. Well, first of all, you shouldn't. I mean, grow up. Artists and arts, it's just different things.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I still watch Cosby.
Yeah, of course. I listened to the Hail Hitler Kanye song.
Read Mein Kampf before you came over.
It is. With Kanye's Hail Hitler, it's a challenge. I get, like, listening to the other songs, know he's anti-Semitic. But when the chorus is Hail Hitler, it's really hard to separate.
You know what's annoying? He's got that song Run This Town, and it's like he's like the third in it. It's Jay-Z, Rihanna, and then he kind of comes in the end, and his verse sucks, but that fucking beat, it gets me so hyped.
Yeah.
I do. He's got a couple, you come in the gym, and you're like, damn it, Kanye, he's got some good
beats.
ones.
He's got some good beats.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the ending is
it's insane.
Yeah,
it's insane on a level because you hear the horn honking, so you know it's bad. Oh, we do spoilers, obviously,
of course,
on this.
Yeah.
So you hear the horn honking, you know shit has gone bad. You know her face is probably into the steering wheel.
By the way, they set it up. I realized watching it this time. The horn honk. Did you notice that?
What do you mean?
There's an interesting foreshadowing in the middle of the movie, after she goes sees her daughter. And her sister.
Yeah.
Spoiler. She comes outside and Jack Nicholson's there and they're talking, and she gets really frustrated. She puts her head on the steering wheel and it honks. So it's like this foreshadowing of what's going to happen. Because the whole movie, they're trapped in this inevitable thing, right? It's going to happen again. They can't get out of it, you know?
Yeah.
So the whole movie is kind of just leading you to this inescapable fate, essentially. But anyway, yeah. So what are you saying?
Oh, I mean, just the way it plays out, where he looks at her, he's broken, and the way John Huston grabs the girl and puts his eye, like, the comfort, and you're like, oh, this is so fucking sick and dark.
Yeah.
Like the guy that's trying to, like, she's lost her only connection, and now he's gonna do to her what he did to her, and she's screwed.
Yeah, and the whole time, because what's interesting too about the movie with Jack Nicholson is he is the main character. Every single moment is from his perspective, but there's a question of what's really going inside him.
Yeah.
That's actually somewhat of a mystery through the movie. It's not spoken out, but really what it is like there is this idealism hidden behind him that he's lost, he's become cynical, and he lets that out again in this movie. only to get betrayed again. So at the end, like, because he does feel for her and he does want to help.
Yeah.
And so you see that last moment of just complete despair. And the thing that really, when I watched as a kid, that last scene always affected me so much. It gave me goosebumps. And a thing that really makes it so effective, besides the how great, how brutal the ending is the way it's filmed. It's filmed like a newsreel, that moment. And like most of the movies film very classically. And in that moment, that last sequence, if you just watch that sequence on its own, you'd be
You
like,
mean the way they run to the car?
yes,
Yeah.
the camera is really jerky, like you're
Right.
filming a newsreel. And it was deliberately like that. So you have this
Yeah.
classical filming the whole time. And then at the end, it's chaotic. So you literally see like the chaos in the camera. The camera's shaking. It feels real. We're no longer in the genre. We're now in like a documentary realism. And that tonal shift is so effective because you feel completely destabilized. You don't even realize, you might not notice that but the camera is completely being filmed differently. If you watch it, it's shaking. It's all over the place. It's these, and so you're watching
The news, basically.
You're watching the news.
Coming up at 11,
Yeah, exactly.
Water King gets away with incest again.
And you're no longer
Yeah.
and you're no longer shielded by the tropes. And so
Yeah.
it's such an effective fucking experience.
Yeah, it's one of those movies I saw pretty young. Like I just went through a Nicholson phase when I was young, and I knew this was considered great. And I definitely, even the first time I saw it, my sister, my daughter, my sister and my daughter, you're like, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
It's because as a kid, you just don't see movies like that. But the classics are kind of what give you a foundation. So you start with the classics,
Right.
And we had Chinatown in my
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
And we had One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So I was like, okay, let me go through some Nicholson.
Right.
And they both affected me. They both affected me in different ways. But
They're both just killer fucking endings. I mean,
yeah,
Chinatown, it's so like, like other film noirs, like, also the trope that I feel like it's being flipped is that Lisa Maltese Falcon, Humphrey Bogart, is cynical. And he doesn't really get tricked. You know what I mean? He's too tough.
yeah.
So you're watching the opposite of that, aren't you? You're kind of watching someone.
Well, people want a happy ending for the most part. But people don't go to the movies to just be like, I remember seeing a review where I love the movie All That Jazz. I think it's one of the best movies ever.
Yeah,
I think
great,
it's incredible. But I remember seeing Ebert give it a bad review saying, people don't want to see a musical in the theater where we see open heart surgery. And I was like, that's a fair critique. Not everyone wants that. Of course you do. You've got the darkest. I mean, you're the guy. Some of your wrecks, I'm like, holy shit, this guy wants you want the darkest ending. I don't always. I want the dark ending if it makes sense. I don't want it just for the sake of a dark ending. But like, man, the late '60s, early '70s, like, these were complex characters, and the endings. They're like, you look at Nicholson in these interviews where he talks about turning down The Sting and The Godfather because he said to me that characters were more interesting in The Last Detail in Chinatown. And you look at his characters that he plays, and it's like, Easy Rider, 5 Easy Pieces, Last Detail, Chinatown, Cuckoo's Nest. These are like really all interesting characters. So I get why he made those choices, even if The Godfather is such a classic.
He would have also kind of destroyed the greatest movie of all time. I mean, it's such an Italian movie.
I know.
We've seen him in Prizzi's Honor. It doesn't feel authentic. It's like having Steve Martin plays a mobster in My Blue Heaven, and it's like the worst interpretation
It wasn't great.
of ever.
Isn't he playing Henry Hill kind of too?
Yeah, because it's she was what's her name? Penny Marshall. Is that who it was? She was dating Nicholas Pileggi when he was working on Goodfellas, so she wrote it, I think, based on the same source material a little. But Chinatown, it is like the whole nihilistic thing. It's like when I watch Chinatown, it's such a weird movie because it does present itself as a film noir, but it's really kind of a horror movie. I mean, it feels by the end more of a horror movie. I mean, like,
well, the ending's a horror for sure. Yeah,
and he feels like a horror.
Well, are there other noirs that have? I guess. You know what the interesting thing is to me? Most noirs are usually a morality tale.
Yeah.
And it's usually it's either like the PI or very often we talk about movies where the guy makes a bad decision. We know it's a bad decision, but we understand it. That's why it's interesting. And then it comes back to bite him in the ass.
Which is moral, right? It's punishment.
It's moral. So it's like a movie like A Simple Plan, which
Yes,
I think is an awesome movie. I love that one. So, they find the money. They don't want to tell anyone about the money. Of course, the money. This is going to fuck them over somehow.
Right.
So it's not as sad an ending. Like, what did Nicholson fucking do to deserve this shit? What did Evelyn Mulwray do to nothing?
Polanski is like, what did I do to deserve my mother dying in the Holocaust?
Exactly. What did I do to deserve, Sharon Tate?
Yeah, getting murdered. Yeah. I mean,
if ever there was a get out of jail free card for incest, for
the raping a kid.
I don't think he should get it. I'm just saying if ever there was one.
I know. He kind of lost his Holocaust sympathy and his wife getting murdered
he blew
by a
it.
serial killer sympathy.
You really blew it.
Yeah, he really he lost his Holocaust sympathy worse than Israel. But so I mean, like, I do think it's interesting because I see this movie, even though the screenplay is written as a film noir, it feels so much like just more like Polanski's three great films, to me, Rosemary's Baby, The Pianist, and Chinatown, not to say that he is only the sole creator of this. He's not. But if you look at those three movies together, it shows his style, which is that you have a main character, and they're in pretty much every scene. It's from his perspective. And
something bad happens.
Something horrible that they kind of really don't have any control over.
Yeah.
And in Rosemary's Baby and Chinatown, you both have a plot that, like, they can't, like, that nothing they do really keeps the plot from, like, achieving itself.
No, the feeling you get is like you're on a flight and it's going down.
Right.
It's like, this is out of my hands. That's kind of what Chinatown is like, okay, I'm doomed. Is this going to happen to J.J. Gittes for the rest of his fucking life? Like,
but what do we do with that message? Because it's like, it is interesting because it's like,
I think you do what J.J. Gittes does. You crack jokes and you hope it doesn't fucking happen again, but it might, because that's the world. We are powerless. Like, so much. That's another thing in a lot of these noir books is like you're going up against a system that is ultimately unstoppable.
Right.
These powerful men who you want to take down, like, there's a scene where he's like, you want me to go to the paper, and I'm sure they want to know why you're dumping all this water.
Yeah.
Ultimately, what's it going to do? They'll pay off more people.
Right.
Ultimately, we are powerless, I think is the message.
It's like in the beginning when he goes to the meeting in the very beginning, and they're having that whole speech about the dam. Yeah. Everyone's bored in the audience, but this real actual conspiracy is happening, and people just aren't paying attention. They're bored. Even Jack Nicholson's bored. It's like where no one's really caring about the conspiracy, I mean, but that's the other thing.
You're going to forget to sign up for healthcare this year because you're going to be scrolling TikTok looking at a guy power washing a sidewalk. I mean, it's like, it's over. We're fucked. But we're all distracted.
But I do wonder, this thought came up to me, like, I believe you should capture life the way you see it, and you don't need a moral, and that's fine. But the thought did come to me, as much as I love Chinatown, the thought did come to me that, like, maybe this worldview of Polanski that's so nihilistic, maybe it's what allows him to do horrible shit because he thinks none of it matters anyway.
That's interesting.
I mean? Like, I just can't help but think, like, yeah, that's his worldview, that evil wins. It doesn't matter what you do. So
the cops handcuff him. He's like, what? Things are bad.
Yeah, I'll just fuck a 13-year-old girl. Yeah, that's what if that's the real ending. He's like, I want Jack Nicholson to fuck a 13-year-old girl.
Didn't Angelica Houston walk in to
see?
Yep, so that was at Nicholson's ski house or something.
She walked in, and he was raping her, and he said, forget it. Angela,
it's Chinatown.
So I do wonder, like, as much as I love the movie, I'm like, there is a part of me that's like, that worldview can lead to you doing horrible shit.
Yeah, now you're making me feel bad for choosing this as my favorite film on shit.
No. I mean, I love it. I love so much about this movie, even though I hate conspiracy theories and think they're mostly bullshit.
Yeah.
What is this movie but the ultimate conspiracy, right? Like, everyone's in on it. Like, literally everyone,
Yeah, and I mean, it's like there's so many noirs, there's so many, and this kind of furthered noir. The way I look at, like, some of those 40s movies, some of them are really great. Like, some of my all-time favorites are, like, you got to see Out of the Past, Robert Mitchum. I think it's, like, one of the coolest movies ever. Double Indemnity is, like, to me, the standard.
I remember loving
for noir.
Yeah.
It's another one with just incredible dialogue. It's 90 minutes. It's airtight.
But that's a classic bad choice comes to kick him in the ass.
Exactly.
That's the Garden of Eden bad choice.
Bad woman, femme fatale. And then the good guy, you got Fred McMurray, who's got, like, I got something ain't. It's almost like the precursor to Columbo, where he's like, something ain't sitting right with
Fred
me.
Not Fred McMurray, the other guy.
Fucking
not Ernest Bergman.
No, Edward G. Robinson.
Oh, Edward G. Robinson.
Yeah, something's not sitting right. No, McMurray's the bad,
the good bad guy. The main character.
Guy. Yeah, the main.
Yeah, I mean, that is the thing. It's like those movies.
Laura is another great one.
But do any of them like? They do all kind of have like you. Oh, I guess Maltese Falcon does it. He didn't really do anything bad in Maltese Falcon. She just fucks with him, and he like keeps from getting fucked with, basically, right?
But the backstory is that he was banging his partner's wife.
Oh, right.
At least in the book. I mean,
but he didn't get punished.
No, he's like, no, he didn't like his partner. But the thing is, like, when your partner dies, you do it because that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, I'm actually not crazy about that movie. Do you love that movie?
It's not in like my top 10 for noirs. There's
Well,
just too many good noirs.
They're passing off that woman like she's so hot. She looks like my grandma. She's like so pale. She looks like a vampire. What's her name?
Mary Astor, is that right?
Is that her? Yeah, she's so ugly, and they're like, "Oh, you can't get away."
Some of the chicks of that era too, like Rita Hayworth and Gilda, or you got like Gene Tierney is like the hottest to me. Like, you ever see this movie with Gene Tierney called Save Her from Heaven?
No.
It's Fatal Attraction before Fatal Attraction. She's this insanely hot chick that this guy falls for, and before long he's like, oh shit, she's fucking insane, and he's got like a disabled brother, and she's just annoyed that this disabled brother exists, and there's a scene where she just lets him drown because she's so annoyed by his presence.
Really?
And the guy puts it together, and he's like, you let him drown. I know you did. And she's like, no. And he's like, yes, you did. And she goes, fine. So what? It's like, it's amazing. So I do it again. It's great.
How did that? That's hilarious.
It's actually a really good movie, though.
It has the same message of Fatal Attraction, which is that you shouldn't have an affair, not because it's wrong, but because the woman could try to kill you.
Yeah, no. It's entirely women's fault. That's the message I took.
That's why you shouldn't have an affair.
Don't do it because
don't have an affair.
Some of these chicks are crazy. Yeah.
Don't have an affair, not because it fucks up your trust issues, but because you could get a fucking psycho. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, you're right, though. There isn't, like, there isn't this moral punishment in this. Like they're...
No, you just get fucked for existing.
Yeah, which is...
You shouldn't poke around powerful people.
Yeah, which is how, like, a survivor of the Holocaust would see shit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you're just a pawn in this whole thing, and if you try to help, it'll make shit worse. Because that's the other thing. I keep on forgetting, he really causes it at the end by contacting John Huston at the end.
Yeah, when they meet up.
He doesn't have to do that. He could have let her get away.
So he's going to live with that guilt, too.
Yeah, because he could just let her get away and then figure it out.
But that's also very noir, the whole, like, I figured it out.
I know.
These are your glasses.
But, like, why don't you let her get away before that?
Yeah, I thought she was further. I didn't know how they knew right. Like, I was like, you kind of let her get a head start.
He really fucks up. He's like, all right, go there. We'll get you away from John Huston. I'm just going to call him and
then we'll pull up for a grand finale where you get shot in the face.
I mean, he really fucks up.
Yeah. Well, that's the weird thing is, like, there's moments where he's this really crafty, PI, and there's moments where he does some really dumb shit.
Well, it's also like he doesn't know what's going on. Like, that's the thing. Like, ultimately,
we don't know how he fucked up in Chinatown. That might have been another one where he just let clearly another bad thing.
The same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the same thing. Every 4 years, a woman gets shot in the face in Chinatown because of this guy. I didn't see two Jakes, but I assume that's what happens again.
Yeah, it's at a certain point it's your fault, maybe.
I didn't see that one, but
apparently it's awful.
I heard it's rough.
Yeah. I mean, it's he is like, and that is the opposite. Like, I feel like Humphrey Bogart, correct me if I'm wrong, but he doesn't lose his cool too much in Maltese Falcon, right?
No, he's chill. I mean, that's the thing is, even like, I think the Big Sleep movie's pretty rough, but it's just like, it's one of those like complicated books that like really doesn't, to me, work as a movie. I know everyone thinks it's like an incredible movie. Mm-hmm. But like, no, he's super chill with women, and even in that too, where he's like, his whole thing is like he likes crazy. And I get being attracted to crazy chicks. I have bad ADD. It keeps my attention.
Right.
That's kind of how he always is. He's like these rich, crazy women, and he's just like, no, they're charming. But then one of them will fuck him over somehow. But it's fine.
But he ultimately catches him at the end. Like his masculinity is ultimately restored, and his like lack of trust. He might. Like, it's like, with Humphrey Bogart, it's like the whole message is you can't really fuck him over. You know what I mean?
Oh, one of my favorite lines in Chandler is there's this woman, she goes, she like faints kind of in his arms. She goes, I might fall. And he goes, don't worry, baby, I'll catch you on the first bounce.
Yeah.
It's a great line.
Exactly. So they never lose their sense of ground. And this movie's the opposite. I mean, like, it really feels like Robert Towne took the femme fatale and the PI from and said, let's make the exact opposite situation.
Yeah.
He completely loses.
You fucked up.
He fucked up. He gets his ass kicked the entire movie. He's just getting beat up over and over
And
again.
he's also in the paper all the time, and I feel like this is not going to be good for business.
No.
If people are like, wait, you're the guy who let that woman get shot in the face?
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love how weak Jack Nicholson is. He's just like,
Yeah.
it's not.
He's great at that.
He's amazing. Yeah, and he's not like, he loses his cool the whole time.
Nicholson is kind of the coolest movie star. I mean, you just look
It's
like
incredible.
I think, dude, the scene in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest when she won't let them watch the World Series and he just starts narrating it as if it's on.
It's incredible.
Dude, I tear up every time I see that.
It's so beautiful.
And that movie also is
India, that music helps a lot. Those
it's so
pipes or
good.
whatever. It's like a Native American thing, isn't it?
yeah, well, the book is from his perspective,
Yeah,
right?
from
It's
the
Chief. But that movie is also like, you talk about noir being comedic and Chinatown having comedic elements of like his banter and stuff. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, it's anti-authority. She's the authority. He's always cracking jokes. He's keeping like that's to me is comedy too. There's so many.
Right. Yeah.
He plays
true.
these characters that
He
are
is
like
the class clown.
He's the class clown.
The class clown being martyred like Jesus at the end.
Totally. That's so many that. But think about that. Like, I mean, God, even like Cool Hand Luke from back then.
Yeah,
like,
they're like the same movie.
After the eggs, he's laying there like Jesus.
Yeah,
and you're like,
yeah,
all right,
yeah.
he just ate a bunch of eggs. Let's settle down. You know.
The martyr movies. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Jack Nicholson, there's something about him when I watch him. I'm like, because I was also rewatching As Good as It Gets, which has the greatest line of all time.
I just love that movie so much.
The greatest line of all time. How do you think of a woman? I think of a
I thought you were
man.
gonna-
And I take away reason and accountability. I was thinking Jack Nicholson is the least sentimental actor of all time. I think that's maybe one of the things.
But he can be. But he can also be sentimental.
He can be emotional, but like, there's never this like sacredness to it. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
There's a wit to everything he
There's
does.
Something's got to give a little saccharine.
Well, the movie itself, yeah, I
Yeah.
get. But I bet I haven't seen it, but I bet his acting at least tries to.
He's
not,
great.
Tries.
He's
like,
always great.
Yeah, like I'm not saying the movies he's in aren't always saccharine, but I'm saying his acting is always like. It's like everything said was a grit.
Oh, and he also just kind of like doesn't really ever change. He just keeps having like witty lines.
Yeah.
And by the end, the woman just breaks down. like I mean, dude, the scene in the restaurant where you make me want to be a better
I
man,
know.
and then of course he blows it right after.
Right after.
But that also is so relatable. Where like.
He's the ultimate comic,
you
yeah.
get her, but then you fuck it up immediately. Like,
Right,
who
right.
doesn't relate to that as a man? Like,
Of course.
I mean, that's why Bogey was relatable, because Bogey would fuck up, you know, like, and he was flawed, but he had those moments of kind of vulnerability, like Casablanca, where he would, you know, play it, Sam. He's just getting fucked up.
Well, Casablanca is super vulnerable. That's what's
Yeah.
interesting about Bogart. It's like, with Casablanca, you're like, dude, calm down a little. Like he's a little. It's like a little. Like you could see other people from that time being like, dude, you're being a little gay. It's just a woman. Like he's just like crying the whole time. He's just. I want to make
This homo's upset about a woman.
I want to make a movie from Sam's perspective, because the whole movie they just use this black dude like a jukebox. They're just like, come over and play this song.
I'm sad.
I'm sad. Play it. He's like, okay, master. And then he's like, at one point, he's like, I wrote my own song. He's like, I don't want to hear that shit. Play, you know what I want to play. And then she comes over and she calls him a boy, even though he's like 60. She's like, play this song. They just use him. It's just a white couple using him as a jukebox. the
Still
whole
better
time.
than being black in America at that time. But yeah,
Yes.
I'll take Morocco over America.
It's also funny that it's just like he's like Humphrey Bogart's sidekick. he's like his Iago the parrot. He's just with him everywhere.
That movie is still great though, and like, you know, Bogey was so noir, man. Like that. In a Lonely Place, I got the poster up. Right?
Yeah.
That's one of my faves ever. Gloria Graham. Oh, you know what? One we didn't mention to me is like peak, one of the best noirs ever, The Big Heat. Because so many.
I haven't seen that in years.
So Fritz Lang left Nazi Germany.
Oh, The Big Heat. I'm thinking of what's the one with Kathleen Turner?
Body Heat.
Body
That's
Heat.
a great one.
I don't remember that one being
Esty
hot.
from The Cellar. That's her fave.
Really?
Yeah, bring that. She loves that movie.
Ooh,
So
she's so dirty.
Kathleen Turner. So Big Heat. Fritz Lang leaves Nazi Germany. You know, obviously made some great stuff, but Goebbels was like, "You should be our filmmaker for the Nazis," and he goes, "But I'm Jewish," and he goes, "We decide you're Jewish." And the quote is, "It was then that I decided it was time to leave Germany." and he got out. Comes to America. Big Heat, man. It's God. Glenn Ford is
to
awesome.
be fair, they didn't really decide who's Jewish. They played it pretty strict.
No, exactly. Yeah. Turns out they didn't keep their word.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah. No, but he. I mean, Preminger also. All these German Jews made great. So it's like you're leaving this insane darkness.
Oh, that's a great point.
And then you come. It was Preminger, Fritz Lang, and there was another one who was really great. It was Billy Wilder. He was Austrian, I think.
But he had family died in the Holocaust.
Oh, Billy Wilder is the most.
That's a great connection to Chinatown. So once again, Chinatown, you're having a Holocaust survivor get their experience and trauma out through a film noir.
Sure.
So it's like Chinatown is within that tradition, which is an interesting thing. Similar to those movies, this world where you can't trust anyone, because those movies were very cynical at the time.
Yeah.
And the idea that you can't trust anyone, But I saw another noir I had never seen last night, Basic Instinct, which I fucking love.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Why is that? I think people misunderstand that movie.
Well, here's the problem: is the erotic thrillers always get a bad rap.
Why? Because they feel sleazy.
Yeah, because there's the famous scene is of her showing her vagina, and it's awesome.
It's
first
incredible.
Of all, it's great.
Yeah,
I could have used without Newman sweating the whole time. I'm trying to jack off. I see. They keep cutting to fucking Newman.
It's also,
Gene Tripplehorn was
that's a hard
sexy
jack
too.
off. It just cuts to its fat
You just
face.
keep rewinding every 8 seconds. You're like vagina.
You're coming to his sweaty lips.
Like fuck Newman.
It's also hilarious how well lit, how coolly lit that.
Isn't it Verhoeven who did it?
Yeah, and in that room,
he did like RoboCop. He's awesome.
He's amazing.
RoboCop also gets a bad rap, and it's awesome.
RoboCop's a great satire.
It's amazing.
He's maybe the most misunderstood director because RoboCop is a great satire about privatization, and Basic Instinct knows what it's doing. It's about the death thrill. It's about
it's awesome.
It's about death and sex connected. It's great. It is funny that part. It's like they're just in an interrogation room, and it's lit like a nightclub. It's just hilarious.
It's awesome. No, Michael Douglas he's a good detective character too. He's very cool.
I mean, there's so many great.
You got to see Body Double because it's insane. It's another insane erotic noir, but it's De Palma.
Well, De Palma and Verhoeven are very similar.
They are.
They're both what I would call doing Hitchcock if he didn't have like the MPAA code or the what do you call it? The
yeah.
Like
doing couldn't show pussy in every shot.
They're like, we'll do Hitchcock if you could show pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both so similar. In fact, Basic Instinct has a scene in the elevator that reminds me of the stabbing in Dressed to Kill.
Yeah.
But I fucking love Basic Instinct. I go online, it has like 50% Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
I'm like, this movie is like very funny.
Very fun.
One of the most fun movies I've ever seen. So sexy.
And Sharon Stone might be the hottest chick ever. Like, I mean, when you just look at like 90 Sharon Stone, it's insane.
Actually, I'm more of a Gene Tripplehorn part.
Really?
Yeah,
You're always a contrarian. That's why you always gotta go the.
It's not like she's fucking.
No, she's hot.
It's not like she's George Washington from Maltese Falcon or whatever.
The
that
Firm
lady
was
is.
on the other day, and she's on it.
She is so hot.
Yeah, she's hot.
Also, that scene, even though I think it's technically rape, that scene's really hot.
Yeah, that's a lot of Michael Douglas's sex scenes in the 90s. You're like, was that rape?
I mean,
Robert Schimmel had the great joke about the movie Disclosure when Demi Moore says to Michael Douglas, "You better let me blow you. You're fired." He goes, "Right then, the UFO should start landing." R.I.P. Robert Schimmel, one of the greats.
It is so funny that like in the 90s we're gonna finally make a movie about sexual harassment, but make it from the woman's perspective.
I know.
Like you think you would make the actual other movie where it happens first, but they're like, no, fuck that.
That's too real. This is hot. Well, it's like when the teacher. It's like when the teacher fucking the student. What's the movie? Kate Blanchett, Notes on a Scandal.
Yeah.
You don't want to see that movie if it's a dude fucking a young girl.
Right,
exactly. But with Kate Blanchett doing it, you're like, this is insanely hot.
Well, it's the same reason that a guy can't ever really have a stalker because he'll just fuck her.
Right.
So, like, women have stalkers. Men have just
ladies.
Crazy.
You hear that? Don't stalk us. We'll just fuck you.
We'll just fuck. Men don't have stalkers. They have crazy ex-girlfriend because they'll just fuck the stalker, and then that's a relationship, But yeah, I mean.
But once we fuck you once and you keep stalking, that is stalking. That's fucked up.
But one of the things. That's right. One of the things. Like, all these other noirs are very sexy. Chinatown is not sexy. Chinatown's about rape.
No, but it probably was sexy for its time because Faye Dunaway
She's
was
hot in the beginning.
She's hot, but she's got the weird like eyebrow penciled.
I hate the penciled in eyebrow. It's so gross.
She's way hotter in Network.
Do people find that? Yeah, 100%. Do people find that attractive? The penciled in eyebrow?
I don't know. Not me.
If you find that, couldn't you just draw a line with a pencil and just be turned on? It's not like real. I hate that.
It's weird. Yeah, it's not. You're right. It's more kind of brooding than sexy.
Yeah, I mean, she's a rape victim. It's like all the sexiness of film noir is just like, it's like you're it's like punishing Chinatown.
Yeah,
it's just such a
there's so many
such a flip on it.
There's so many great '90s noirs also that like people forget. Like the '70s were great, but the '90s ones are pretty sexy. Like like there's some really underrated ones like The Last Seduction, Linda Fiorentino. That's great. A great movie.
So sexy,
and she's so sick. Bound with Jennifer Tilly and Gina Gershon.
90s is the king of the '90s is the erotic thriller.
But that's like just lesbian makeout scenes, like very hot, but also a great movie. That's what I mean. These erotic noirs, they get no love, though.
I know, yeah. Well, I'm watching Basic Instinct, and I'm realizing, like, when it's so open sexually, I think now it's easy to respect because you're like, oh, they're saying some interesting ideas about sexual stuff, like watching. And we're less kink-shamey now, so the movie seems more interesting.
But the problem is now we're too open, so we get pieces of shit like 50 Shades of Grey.
Right. Well, that movie fucking... I tried to. That movie's soft. Like the movie opened, he's like, "Are you ready to go down this journey of sadomasochism?"
It just looked too bad.
And she's like, "I'm ready." And he's like, "Once we do it, there's no going back." And she's like, "Okay." And then he just spanks her.
Yeah, but that's for
I'm like everyone spanks
because it's for women.
Yeah,
that one's for women.
Yeah,
and Basic Instinct is clearly for dudes.
Right.
They're marketing that like they're not like doing the beaver shot is not for women.
It's not just for dudes. It's for coked up dudes. That movie was written by a guy on cocaine.
Oh, the club scene where they're just like making out in the. You're like, what the hell? Is this guy a cop or not? Like, what the hell is he doing?
He also like doesn't follow any rules. They're like, you got to go do this like interview. And he's like, fuck you. And they're like, shouldn't they just fire him?
Yeah.
They said they're like, come on, please go through this evaluation.
He's like, nah. Yeah, Michael Douglas was in some pretty horny movies.
He's always showing up and there's a dead body that he's definitely like seems complicit in, and they're like, we're like they're thinking of arresting him, but they don't ever.
Yeah, he's got a long leash at that department.
Yeah, but that movie's awesome. That last scene of him having sex with her and the ice pick being under the bed. I mean, that's such a great ending to have an ending where it's just about like that thrill of sex and needing the danger.
Oh, I've been there, dude.
Yeah.
I've made some horrible decisions in my life just based on like, hope this chick doesn't kill me.
Yeah.
And then I come and I run. I fucking leave. No, I've definitely had that, though, where I'm like, wow, I was so stupid for pursuing it. But, you know, you do it.
You need that danger. It's like that movie Species with a hot alien robot.
I never saw that, but I know of it.
It's like guys.
Natasha Henstridge,
yeah,
right?
It's like guys
She's
fuck
so
her,
hot.
and then she turns into an alien and kills them. How many guys would, even if you explained she was an alien, how many guys would still do that?
And by the way, how on the nose is that metaphor? The second you come, she's like, I didn't come. You're like, all right, Jesus.
But I mean, the part of Basic Instinct where he knows she killed someone with an ice pick,
Yeah.
and then he has him tie her up. He has her tie him up. I mean, and then he's just tied
Because
up
we all
there.
have that as
That's
a guy. We all have the
amazing.
thing like, maybe she won't kill me.
Yeah, exactly.
We all have that.
It's like the comic. Maybe I'll be the one to do well on the show.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, the '90s had some great, such a good era for noir, man. Like another one I love is, you ever see Red Rock West? Nicolas Cage. I feel like J.T. Walsh was in like five great.
I don't think I saw that one.
It's really good. It's by the same guy who did.
Or maybe I did.
It's the same guy who did Last Seduction. He
Oh,
did
really?
both those movies in the same year.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck. I saw that. What was that one? California with K? I always confuse those two. That's with Brad Pitt.
I don't know.
I don't think
that
that's a
one.
film noir as much as a serial killer movie. Yeah.
Well, I was reading up on Chinatown because I knew we were going to talk about this. So it went up against Godfather 2.
Right.
That's why it only won one Oscar.
It would have probably won.
It won Best Screenplay, but that's
Wow.
it. That's all it won. It's like Nicholson lost to like Art Carney or some shit. I'm like, what the fuck?
There's always some bad when you look back at it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the Oscars feel like they never get it right. But then but Godfather. So Coppola had 2 movies nominated for Best Picture. He had
and The
Godfather 2
Conversation?
and The Conversation could have won another year.
Yeah,
That's a great
true.
movie.
It's an incredible movie. Yeah.
And then no one else. But I feel like that's why this is considered like the great screenplay. But it's funny that it's considered the greatest screenplay, and Town didn't even want this ending.
He fought it. He really fought it. And when you think about that ending, let me just check the time real quick. Okay. When you think about that ending, like if that ending wasn't in there, it would have been a good movie. But like thinking about that movie without
won't
the
be
ending,
iconic.
it's like thinking about the Diary of Anne Frank if she survived. It's like would
It's
that
just
be
a book.
It's just a fucking diary.
Yeah.
It's like, but like if that ending would have been, you know the ending, right? It would have been he wrote it for her to kill him, and get away. It was like pretty much a happy ending. Like that movie would have like probably been just, I don't know. It would have been considered good, but that ending, I mean, that is
But
really
instead, it's that. Forget it, Jake. It's Chinatown, and that's that.
I mean, it's kind of like this. That movie, I will say, like, it's this perfect magical combination of Robert Towne writing such an expertly done, so beautifully detailed script, a script that feels so researched, and but then Polanski coming in and giving it that Polanski touch, like
two perfect. I mean, one of the best screenwriters and one of the best. But there was a guy that Robert Towne had like on payroll and paid him shit and did a lot of the work. That never got
research,
any
really?
credit. Yeah.
Was that in the book?
Yeah, it was in the book. But
the only part in the book I remember is after Chinatown, he comes to his wife like a couple years later. He goes, "Honey, I've decided I'm going to write all my next screenplays on cocaine." And then it just like cuts to him like just like having had a movie in
was
like
the
20
Adderall
years.
for the 70s.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he also did punch up on like Bonnie and Clyde uncredited. He did like he was like the Golden Touch. Everyone, and he was roomies with Nicholson back in the day. And then, I mean, The Last Detail is so underrated. I think it's such a good movie.
No, what else did he
Shampoo.
He punched up The Firm, right? Was that him who punched
Did
up
he?
The Firm, or was it William Goldman? I always forget.
I don't
which
know.
one.
The Firm is a fun movie.
The Firm is a movie where like the Gene Hackman part is so moving that you're
amazing.
like, if this movie would have just focused on Gene Hackman, it would have been like a masterpiece.
Yeah.
And then you're like, you watch Michael Clayton, you're like, it's kind of like the Gene Hackman story a little, just as like,
Michael Clayton's fun.
Oh yeah, it's great. Yeah, but yeah, Gene Hackman in The Firm is just so incredible.
Tom Cruise is fucking awesome though, in everything. You know what? I love him in Magnolia. I think that part is like unbelievable.
Oh,
He's-
yeah.
he's basically Andrew Tate.
Yeah, and
But you actually feel for him.
and it's like now we have a name for that. Like at the time, like when Magnolia came out, it felt like P.T. Anderson was introducing us to a character on the fringe that most people don't know.
Right.
But now that's like, oh, that's Andrew Tate.
That's it. Well, also, my favorite part of Magnolia is Philip Baker Hall's wife being like, "Did you fuck our daughter?" And he's like, "I don't remember."
Yeah, you just say no at that point.
Yeah, I don't think that answer flies.
Just say no.
I don't. Ooh, did I? I don't know. Did I fuck her daughter? That's a tough one. I can't remember.
That is wild. Like,
Is this how this pod usually goes? You just start going to like 80 other movies? Because I feel like this is how we talk off the pod. Is like we just.
no, I
I love
like to
Philip
get loose.
Baker Hall so much.
That is really funny.
You-
I don't remember.
You ever see Heart 8? That's an underrated one.
Yeah.
He's
of course,
he's amazing in that movie.
Yeah, no.
Great flick.
Yeah, Tom Cruise he's a fascinating guy because now I feel like he only makes Mission Impossible or Top Gun movies, and we're all just humoring him with his denial of death. Like he's like 60 and jumping off planes.
Yes.
And he's just not wanting to confront death. And we're all like cheering him on that. Like, yeah, you'll never die. He's going to be like 80 jumping off of a helicopter. It's nice.
He might be.
We're all helping. We're all like helping him.
But I miss him in non-action movies. I like the action movies; they're fun. But I love dude. I just rewatched Eyes Wide Shut the other day. It's just such a vibe. It's so fun. Like I just like watching Tom Cruise walk through like a New York village winter in a coat.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Just going on an adventure.
Well, Eyes Wide Shut's amazing because it's a dream. It feels like a dream, but it never says it's a dream, but it just feels like a dream. I saw a clip of this on Instagram. When he's walking, the way they filmed that.
Yeah, how?
To make it feel dreamy, they had a projector of what's the background, and he was standing in front of the projector on a treadmill. So so that's why it kind of looks dreamy.
Wow.
He's walking on a treadmill with like the background being the footage.
Interesting.
Like the way they used to film cars, with the projector.
Yeah.
So that's why that shot feels dreamy without you really being able to like. That whole movie is it feels like a dream, but it's not like, but it's not. There's no like real demarcation. It just feels like a dream.
But also, how cool is it that Kubrick just cast Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, the biggest couple in the world who's having marital problems, to play a couple having marital problems? Like that's insane. And then also. I just heard this clip of Roger Avery talking about the movie, saying it was supposed to be about pedos, like that secret sex society. It was supposed to be about like pedos, but then like Kubrick just died 4 days after, and the studio's like, "Phew, we can make this not about pedos and make it more marketable."
Oh wow, interesting.
But no, that movie.
Yeah, he
is
didn't
such
have final cut.
It's such a vibe, though. It's like it's
died.
so enjoyable. It's
It's
fun.
a fascinating movie. There's parts of it that I'm just like, There's some bad parts.
I know, but part of the imperfection is part of the
know.
fun. I mean, I don't think it's a perfect movie, but I enjoy it so
The
much.
silliest part is when he gets pushed by those guys.
Yeah.
And they're like,
You're
hey.
like, fuck you, you pussy.
It's like, man, Kubrick made
You should see him in Jack Reacher. He would have smoked all you fucking pussies.
Well, like, what guys would go up to Tom Cruise and be like, fuck?
That happened a lot in 90s movies.
Yeah.
You just get pushed by dudes calling you gay.
For no reason.
Yeah.
Every 90s movie, like, every cop, someone else hates them, and they don't really explain why.
Yeah.
They just hate them. But, yeah, I mean, but yeah, Chinatown. Yeah, something else. I wrote down some notes for Chinatown. I want to see if there's anything else I want to.
Oh, I forgot. I always forget Bert Young is in it, which I love.
Oh yeah. Well, that opening scene was so great.
Bert Young is so underappreciated as this like kind of always plays these kind of rugged. I mean, obviously you're not going to get like the leading man parts always looking
Right.
like that, but like that guy's resume, like you got Chinatown, you got Rocky, you got Back to School. Yeah. You got a sweet resume, dude.
Well, that part's also just amazing coming back to him at the end. I mean, that's why it's
He uses him, yeah.
Putting it back in the end, but then seeing his wife with the black eye. It reminds you that this movie's like only takes like 4 days.
Yeah.
Like her eye isn't healed at all. Like you forget that.
Or he keeps hitting her.
Yeah,
you don't know. Or he just keeps doing it.
It's
yeah.
actually been a year.
She keeps undercooking the food. It's not his fault. Yeah.
But I also think that opening of when to establish Jack Nicholson, even though there's something really crucial in that opening to establish him, which is that you first see his first line, he's like hitting the blinds, and Jack Nicholson's like, all right, don't eat the Venetian blinds. I had them installed. So right away, you're like, all right, he's a cool, like, unfeeling guy. But then in the next shot, you have him telling him, hey, you can pay me whenever. I'm not going to take your last cent. So you kind of see him as both slick and, like, deep down a good guy. It, like, establishes him really well.
And every noir has to have Venetian blinds or Davenport in it. That's another.
Is that it?
Yeah, they have to. Yeah.
I guess the Venetian blinds are a big part of, like, looking through them, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, like, Chinatown is just like you're right, it is the darkest of all these, like, noir movies. It reminds me a little of, I feel like the way Chinatown deconstructs the film noir is like Unforgiven deconstructs the Western.
That's a great comp.
Yeah, because Unforgiven at the end is also where you feel like you're suddenly outside the tropes and you're looking at something really ugly. Like when the guy.
The only difference is, though, Clint Eastwood's just fucks everyone. Like that's the difference, is that like Clint Eastwood's like, violence is bad, and then he just kills everyone. You're like, wait a second.
But that's the thing. It's like you're uncomfortable. Like he is like I mean, he is like really vicious.
Yeah, but he still gets to be cool as fuck doing it.
Yes.
Like, did he take it too far? Sure. But he fucked everyone in that bar up. It was so cool.
It was awesome. But having that part where the kid's like, you killed women and kids.
Yeah.
That's like that's my sister.
Yeah.
I mean, it just takes you outside of the genre into like this ugly reality.
No, you're so it is a great comp in that it's like it's very self-aware of the genre.
Deconstructing it.
Yeah.
Taking the Mystic River also does that on some level, taking the tropes and flipping them to show what you're watching is reality come in and destroy the tropes. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah, pain hurts.
Yeah.
It's not like a Western where you just shoot a bunch of people and they're like, ugh.
Yeah.
It's like, you're like, holy shit, he blew his face off. Or, or like, holy shit, a kid's crying. Like, it's real.
Yeah, it's real. It has consequences. And that's like, so in Chinatown, when she said, it's my sister, it's my daughter, the tropes get exploded. And now you're looking at something that's like the kind of evil you don't see in film noirs, you know?
Yeah.
And the part with John Huston at the end, that speech about the future, to me, that's like,
how much money do you need? I mean, that's so also like,
it's like
how much better could your life get? Yeah.
It just makes me think of Elon Musk so much. It's like Elon Musk has all the money in the world, but it wasn't enough. He had to destroy his whole reputation and just be considered now like I think it's fairly a horrible human being.
Yeah, both can't stop coming. No, except at least Elon's.
He doesn't want to have anything to do.
At
with
least
his
he's
daughter.
not fucking his kids.
Yeah, he doesn't have anything to do with his daughter.
You'd have to see them to fucking impregnate them.
But yeah, you're right. John Huston is a little more hands-on father.
He's way more. Yeah, he's more available.
Is he gonna fuck her and she have another kid? What would that kid be?
I think that's what they were suggesting, the way he grabbed her.
So would their kid together be his?
No, I bet he grows as a person and becomes a good man after getting away with this.
Well, but with that kid, so that kid would be his daughter and his granddaughter.
Yeah.
Wild. How does he? I'm so curious how he treats his how he treats it. Like when he's talking to that girl, is he treating her like oh no. That girl would be his daughter and great granddaughter, right? Wait.
No, it's
yeah.
Yes.
The girl he's with, the daughter is his daughter and his granddaughter.
Damn.
And if he fucks her, this is fun. This is
It's
fun.
bad enough to be.
Math.
It's bad enough to be. It's bad enough to be a cradle robber, but you're a fucking incest cradle robber.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Yeah, it is. It is double blow. Yeah, you actually forget that she's also underage. It's like that Woody Allen joke from not only did you have sex with a sheep, but it was underage. Yeah, that would be his daughter and his great granddaughter.
That's rough.
She would be getting fucked, but she'd be getting a lot of like gifts for different, a lot of gifts for being a daughter and
anniversary and birthday. Yeah, sure. Not bad.
But so what is your but yeah, did you have anything else to say about Chinatown? Like
I mean, I think it's like,
because I know it's not your favorite.
I don't know if it's my number one noir, but I love it. I do love it, and I think it's hard for me whenever I see these people do like the letterbox things. Like, these are my 4 favorites. How do you narrow it down to even 4? How do you narrow it down to 10? Like 10 per genre.
I'm so sick of those videos, by the way. Some actor being like, "This is really hard."
My favorite movie ever is Das Boot. I'm like, is it, or do you want to sound interesting?
They always, whenever they say that list, they always have to throw in a fun one. Jurassic Park or something's always third,
right?
But then they have to throw in a foreign film. You know what I mean? And if it's a hot girl, she has to throw in a real manly movie. She has to be like, oh, well, of course, The Godfather,
Yes, that's a good point. Yeah, I'm one of the boys too.
Yeah, I'm one of the boys. Yeah.
What am I? But then there's sometimes people that are too fun, and it's like my favorite movie, Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Clueless. I'm like, all right, throw one real one in there. I mean, those are great. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, what does your favorite movie even mean? Like, is it a movie you rewatch? There's movies that I rewatch because they're like comfort watches to me. Like, I'll rewatch Billy Madison all the time because it just makes me fucking smile. Back to School, the South Park movie. There's so many movies I just rewatch. They make me feel good.
Yeah, is your favorite movie your most watched movie? I mean, that's a question.
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is. Yeah.
There's movies I like. I'm like, oh my god, that was incredible. But what am I going to watch? Schindler's List all the time?
I actually do watch it all the time, but I actually do think Schindler's List is really entertaining. But I know what you're saying. I would say Pianist is one that's actually much harder to watch.
I dated a girl who I tried to do a bit about this. I dated a girl who fucked Liam Neeson. I found out later, years ago, and I was like, man, I was already depressed when I watched Schindler's List. Now I'm like, oh, come on, this never worked. Joke never worked.
Really?
That's for you. The joke's for you.
That's really funny.
I think, but then there's movies that, like, if they're on TV, I like.
Could have saved one more. You could have fucked one less too.
Well, dude, I'm working on my Schindler's List chunk. 40 years too late, but 30, whatever. But there's movies that if they're always on TV, I want, like, I love. You turned me on to the movie The Fabulous Baker Boys.
No, it's incredible.
If it's on TV, it's on TV a lot. And
that's not a film noir, but it's film noir dialogue.
It is, and it's got the kind of romance too. I love like a kind of cynical rom-com. I also love an ambiguous ending where they don't quite end up together, but there's like hope.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. There's not like a Hollywood makeout scene at the end, but he's like, maybe I'll see you around.
Those are always fun.
I love that. To me, that's like it makes you. You know what does that movie really well? Do you ever see the movie The Guard?
I haven't seen that.
With Brendan Gleeson.
I saw the other. What was his other? I think I saw.
In Bruges. Oh, Cavalry.
Calvary. I saw Calgary or Calvary. Calvary. I saw Calvary. I didn't see The Guard. I hear it's great.
It's amazing. And the ending's amazing. I won't give it away, but it's one of those like beautifully ambiguous endings, and I love when it's done right. Ending. When it's done right, you're just like, what? I love when they just like smile, like, oh shit. Certain movies just when the credits pop, you're just like, oh, wow. I love an ending like that.
Well, Happily Ever After is always bullshit because that's literally life is.
But some people want that. Some people want a Hollywood ending, and there is a place for it. It doesn't mean like there aren't great movies. Like, look, Singing in the Rain, I brought up earlier. That's a great movie.
Yeah.
It is an incredible movie.
Yeah.
But so sometimes there's a place, if it fits the movie, it makes sense. Sometimes you want that. Like, look, if the ending is just like him getting shot in the face, you'd be like, what the fuck?
You can't have them all be Chinatown.
Yeah. But then when you see one and the tone matches and it just works, like it's like how anything works. If it feels honest to the story, then it's perfect.
I guess specifically with rom-coms, whenever it's a Happily Ever After ending, I'm like, this just fucks up your view of relationships because relationships are never like that. Relationships are like...
They're messy.
Yeah, they're messy and you're always in it. It's always like... There's no like, oh,
that's why we love Annie
out.
Hall. It doesn't work. Annie Hall, the ending, it doesn't work.
The best rom-com where it falls apart. Though, you know what's interesting? I rewatched that for the podcast, I think.
Who liked that one favorite?
Wait, who was it? God, I can't remember now. But I remember watching it and thinking, like, he's actually pretty immature. Like, he doesn't change at all for her. Like, I've actually become more mature than I guess it's not that hard. But, like, I'm like, he doesn't really change at all. And then he's, like, all sad at the end. But he's the one who never made any changes. You know?
Yeah.
He's like, this is just what love is. It fails. So I'm like, no, you didn't compromise at all. I mean, that might not have been a good movie.
No, it's a great movie.
But, like, if
Annie
it was
Hall's
just
a great movie.
It's a great movie, but it's not. But I do think I do think the perspective is a little wrong. I mean, it ends up. Like, his perspective is that, like, love just fades.
Yeah.
But it's really someone who didn't make any compromises at all. So it's like there is his work in it that he's not realizing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a little like Polanski, where they both think the universe is just awful and evil. But
They have something else in common, too. Yeah.
But then it takes away any accountability. You know what I mean? I guess that's the thing. Is,
Woody grabs his Sunnis, puts his hand over her eyes, like, come with me. That's, forget it, Jake. It's Chinatown.
Yeah,
it is actually Chinatown. That's where they no.
Yeah,
okay.
they are very similar in that sense. The Woody Allen does not have that Holocaust sympathy. But yeah, I mean, as much as I love Chinatown, I do like. I guess I don't. I hope that worldview can be dangerous. I guess in final conclusion, thinking that it's all evil, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, to be an absolute cynic. I mean, it's not pleasant to be around. You know, like sometimes will see a comic and they're miserable, and everything about their worldview is negative, and I enjoy watching them for that 15 minutes.
Right, exactly.
It's a nice place to visit.
Right.
I don't want to live there. So I feel the same about these movies. Like sometimes I'll watch, I think the movie The Wrestler is a great movie. I don't want to rewatch it.
Right.
I get it. Yeah, I got it. But I thought it was, sometimes I respect the movie a lot, but I'm just like, I'm good.
Right. Yeah.
This I want to rewatch for some reason.
Well, because it's so fun.
It is fun for how bleak it is.
And it's so detailed, and it takes its time, and it's just filmed beautifully, and it's all from his perspective, which is fascinating.
Yeah.
You're seeing it all through his POV, you know, like what he's seeing. But yeah, I mean, it is, you know, it is interesting. Like, The Godfather seems dark, but at the same time, The Godfather still is, in a sense, one could say, like, it is his choice. He's making a choice, you know? The choices in here aren't... Godfather's a tragedy. This is absurd. This is not actually a tragedy. It's like an absurdity. Like all of Polanski's movies. I mean, it's tragic in the way we say tragic, but it's not tragic in the way that a character's flaw leads him to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Godfather's, you know, about families kind of sticking together.
Right.
And this is kind of the opposite, right?
Yeah,
Breaking apart.
But
I'll tell you, the Godfather book, it's funny, this and The Godfather, two of the best movies ever made, obviously, but also the behind the scenes for both, like Leave the Gun, Take the Cannoli, the book about The Godfather, is also incredible.
You gotta read that.
It's insane.
I love behind the scenes movies.
It's completely insane. Like, Mario Puzo was out of his fucking mind. Like, all these people were like crazy people.
I know.
And, you know, and Robert Evans is a big character in both. And, like, is there a more entertaining character than Robert Evans?
Right. Yeah. No, I gotta read that. There's nothing better.
Jim Norton turned me on. He's like, you gotta read that one.
There's nothing better than like a movie about the making of a movie. They're just so fun.
Especially like with these characters that we know now, these studio heads. I mean, there's all these interesting people, and, you know, it's especially with Chinatown. I mean, you got Chinatown, you got Godfather, like the movie that catapulted Pacino and the one that catapulted De Niro. And then you got Brando's a complete weirdo. I mean, there's so much good stuff in there. So
many crazy people, yeah. Well,
I mean, Brando's out of it. He's another guy. I remember seeing the interview for Brando's. It was for a Brando doc, and he's just talking about his wife. And like how she was so sick and he was obsessed with her, and all he would do was wait on her hand and foot. And then when she got better, he was just like bored. And he was just like start fucking around.
That's like a Phantom Thread. Right?
Yes.
That's like exactly Phantom Thread.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
That's all about, I think.
Talk about a detail-oriented movie.
But I think he was sick once, and Mia Rudolph took care of him, and he like it was the only time he could like. That's that I've had that too. Like it's actually a problem. Like when you're narcissistic. And you're like always running away in a relationship, and then the minute you're like in dire straits, you really need them. Like you can only think of love as when it's involving saving you.
That's a great point. I mean, think about the first sick you have, like the bad sick after a breakup. you're just like, no one's taking care
You're
of
like,
me.
this
I'm
is
gonna
the-
die alone.
This is where the relationship really comes when you're sick, When you're healthy, you just forget about all of that.
Meanwhile, if she's sick here, I'm like, you're gonna get me fucking sick before a 12-day road run, you inconsiderate pain in the ass. And then you're like, oh, I am a narcissist. Shit.
Yeah, like I'll go on a flight. Like I went on a flight with Kate once, and I forgot to change. Like we're supposed to sit together, but I forgot to put that thing where it upgrades me for free. I didn't say for it to. I didn't specifically have it, but I didn't stop it from happening, and I got upgraded. So I'm like, all right, I'll be like, all right, it was good. I'll just get my work done, And then the minute the plane starts shaking, I'm like, I'm gonna die alone.
That's hilarious.
Plane gets back to normal. I'm looking at this girl's legs across the aisle.
Meanwhile, it crashes. Only first class dies. Oh, fuck.
I was thinking it would suck to I get the upgrade. I'm happy about it, and then the plane crashes. So then I'm like dying alone, and she's just behind. Maybe I could run back to there and have a moment.
Yeah.
Either way, it sucks.
I mean, that was Titanic, basically, right?
Yeah, I guess
she
you're
was.
right.
She was the rich one, and he died because she wouldn't give him room on that little.
She wouldn't give him the room. Yeah. But yeah, this has been a fun fucking episode. Do you have any plugs?
Plugs? I mean,
Oh no, I'm supposed to say what. I try to say what the movie says about you, even though it's not your favorite movie.
What is the movie? It's one of my favorite movies. It's in there. What does the movie say about me?
Yeah.
Probably that I love great filmmaking. I just love a movie that you can revisit and see new things each time. And I can watch Nicholson.
I was going to say you'll never trust a woman, but yeah, sure.
But he did trust her in the end.
Yeah, he did trust her, yeah.
And then got her killed.
You're idealistic behind the cynicism. Behind the cynicism, there is a part of you that wants to save people.
My friend texted me something about this movie because I was talking to her about it last night. What did she say? She had a good quote about this movie. I want to read it. She goes, it shows that power corrupts over all else, but in a way the bleakness is a hopeful warning not to give up, but to understand what you're up against. I thought that was a good take. I thought that was a good take. I also think I love good dialogue.
I don't see that in the movie, but I could see that's a fun take.
It's a good takeaway.
Yeah.
I think, I know. I don't know. But I don't think he's going to give up. I think he's going to keep doing his job, but he's going to just be broken.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I think he's going to give up.
Wait, you think he's just going to work at Walmart? He's just going to be like,
No. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, he's not going to literally give up. I guess spiritually give up. Give up the idealism. But you're right. I guess if you...
I think it's in him to go back because he went back after what happened in Chinatown. So maybe I have a more hopeful take on his character, but... But
the lesson ultimately is he did get her killed by contacting John Huston. Yeah. So that message, do as little as possible, is correct. he went against that message, do as little as possible.
Yeah, maybe
I think he's going to do as little as possible, yeah.
Well, I think...
But maybe ultimately fall back... maybe that's it. You fall back into the idealism.
I just think what you talked about, this movie says about me, it's a great script. I love good dialogue. I love good storytelling. It's an incredible director. It looks gorgeous. All these L.A. views. And I'm so not an L.A. guy, but noir is so L.A.
It's got to be L.A.
There's some great New York noirs, too.
Yeah.
Asphalt Jungle's a cool... Mm-hmm. There's some cool stuff. But,
it's hard to kill people in New York.
It's harder to murder. Yeah, it's so densely populated. You're going to get in trouble.
Yeah, that's why Son of Sam had to just shoot people in the window and run away. Like, John Wayne Gacy has like a whole torture house in his house because he lives in fucking Illinois. And then Son of Sam just kills them, and then he comes back to jack off. It's like you're barely a serial killer.
And John Wayne Gacy is so LA, where he had to have a side hustle as a fucking. He wanted to make it as an entertainer. We get it, dude. We get it.
You gotta have something else. Yeah.
But and I just love. It's my favorite type of movie. I love detective noir. I love. It's in the tops. I think when I talk about the best noirs, it's this. Double Indemnity, Laura's great. Preminger.
Wouldn't you say he's the wittiest? I mean, I haven't seen all of these, but would you say he's the wittiest out of all of them? Jack Nicholson in this?
I don't know. There's some good.
Anyone as good as he doesn't even joke about?
Maybe Elliot Gould in Long Goodbye is pretty witty.
Is he?
I love the line when the cops show up and he goes, "Oh, is this the part where I say what's the big idea and you say we'll do the talking around here?" I think Elliot Gould's an awesome PI. I love him as
he's witty. He's like autistic in it, basically.
I think Elliot Gould is one of the coolest ever. I'm such a big.
He's great.
What's a great?
But he's autistic.
I got a great rec for you. A great Elliot Gould movie for you. Have you seen Silent Partner?
No.
Elliot Gould and Christopher Plummer, amazing.
You're always wrecking me. It's always some movie with two of those type of actors.
I love. It's a really fun movie.
Yeah.
I just
check it out.
scrolling
Silent
Criterion
Partner?
one day. I was like, never seen this. Just threw it on. Loved it.
Criterion's great.
It's so
Love
good,
it.
dude. So I love. I love Chinatown. I love Big Heat's up there. A lot of them are old. I think the modern. I mean, look, we talk about L.A. Confidential. That's great. Like for
LA
neo-noirs.
Confidential. Yeah, one of the
That's
best.
one of your faves. I like. There's some modern ones though, dude. I think the '90s really is underrated for noir. Like I mentioned before, but A Simple Plan, I love. I think it's like beautiful. I love a snowy noir. I love Fargo.
Yeah. That's Fargo's great.
Something about
I
the
guess
snow.
I don't think of Fargo as noir, but I guess.
Oh, it's totally noir.
I guess in a sense, yeah.
It also is one of the funniest death scenes ever when the dad gets shot and he's like, oh, oh. I'm like, did you eat too many fucking tacos? What the hell? Oh.
It is a very funny death.
Oh, you got me. Oh, that'll leave a mark. Oh, Fargo's amazing. I love.
Yeah, one of the best.
You know what's a really good? I rewatched recently too. Blood Simple's great.
Yeah,
That's a fun. M. Emmett Walsh, dude.
Yeah,
That guy pops up in a movie. You know you're getting a good fucking.
That's a
few
great
scenes.
movie. His early movies are really good. Raising Arizona is really funny, but I will say once he made Fargo, there was like a new thing in it, and I think it was like there was like a warmth to Fargo, except for Raising Arizona that does have warmth. His other crime movies were kind of cold.
Like Miller's Crossing.
Yeah, Fargo brought warmth, and it was like their first really moving.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. That's like top 5 favorite movies ever.
It's one of the best movies ever.
Do you have any plugs for the?
For like gigs and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, Chicago Theater October, Carnegie Hall December.
Ooh, Carnegie Hall.
I got a bunch of stuff on my website. Red Bank, New Jersey in July. I'm all over, but you know, I'm off. I'm not hitting it like I was. I went too hard the first half of the year.
You depleted yourself, huh?
I depleted myself. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
I got some specials out there if you haven't seen. Like you know.
Yeah, there's like 400 specials, so you got a lot.
You want to talk? You got a shitload of specials.
That's true, but he's obviously him. He's
Last
the
one
best.
on Amazon is called You've Changed. I like that one.
It's
That one's
amazing,
very
yeah.
noir actually. That I tried to make it look. I tried to look like Elliot Gould in The Long Goodbye in that suit.
Oh
so,
right.
So I was like, let me channel some
I mean,
fucking
you look
noir.
a lot like Elliot Gould.
I'll take it. It just means you're a lanky Jew. Is all it means.
Bushy eyebrows.
Bushy eyebrows, a fro. He's a cool dude.
He's awesome. Yeah. Have you met him?
I never met him. No.
Yeah, he's still alive, right? Yeah.
He's alive, but we tried to get him on our pod, and I don't think he does that stuff.
Well,
I know. I saw Adam Carolla once, and I saw he was on your show. Was he cool? And Carolla was like, I said something that rubbed him the wrong way, and he was not nice to me. But
Really?
Like, I think Carolla's kid is a big L.A. Gould fan, so he was pumped, and L.A. Gould was not. He's
Corolla
like,
said something that rubbed someone the wrong way.
but he seemed bummed by it. I think he's a fan. So you know.
Yeah, no, he's great. He's the best.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for doing the pod.
No problem, man.
This has been so great, and
It's been fun.
And plug for me, just I'm taking a little break from the road too. I just filmed a special, so just subscribe to my mailing list, punchup.live/Raanan. Subscribe to his. I assume it's punchup.live/Sam Morril.
Yes, I love Punch Up.
It's the best. And follow us on the Patreon too. Patreon.com/YourFavoriteMovieSucks. Thanks so much for doing this. This was awesome.
My
One of our
pleasure. This
best.
was fun.
Cut.
Raanan is fat and he's a Jew. He'll tell you something that you already knew. Your favorite movie sucks. Your favorite movie sucks. American Beauty or Forrest Gump. Your favorite movie sucks.